Hello, Fidus. I'm here to talk to you about another cause of the American Revolution, and this is actually something we've already talked about before. We talked about the First Continental Congress when the Patriots got together and said, what are we going to do to keep peace with Great Britain? They really wanted to have peace with the king and parliament because they knew that war meant death, and they didn't want death. So the first thing they decided to do was to stop trading with Great Britain, and maybe putting that financial pressure on them would get Britain to change their mind. The next thing that they did is start training militias because maybe they might need to protect themselves. So they wanted to be prepared. And they decided to meet again in 1 year to see if it worked. So stockpiling weapons means gathering everybody's guns, everybody's cannons, so that they can fight if they need to be. They also wanted to train their volunteer armies. The volunteer armies were called militias. They were regular people like shoemakers and candlemakers and farmers that were willing to fight for freedom. Patriots were the people that were the first kind of Americans. They wanted to fight for an American independence. The Loyalists were the opposite. They wanted to stay loyal to Britain. So a lot of times we call the Redcoats the Loyalists. King George III said, I'm tired of you. I'm going to come take your weapons and arrest your leaders. But he probably shouldn't have said that because Paul Revere and other people started getting ready for that attack. What Paul Revere did is talk to a few people like William Dawes and Samuel Prescott, and they watched and watched and watched for when those British redcoats marched out of the barracks to take their weapons and seize their leaders. So when they did that, they were able to notify all of the militias and Minutemen that the British were coming, and they were ready. They were sort of ready in Lexington, but not ready enough. They didn't have enough men, and they decided they were going to go ahead and retreat. But somebody, we don't know who, fired the first shot. And once one shot was fired, chaos rang down, and everybody started firing their weapons. The Patriots lost this battle, but they didn't give up. They retreated to Concord. And in Concord, it was later in the day, so more people are awake and are ready to fight, and they fought bravely. They defeated the Redcoats, and they chased the Redcoats all the way back. So the Patriots won in Concord, and that was the first victory for Americans in the American Revolution. So what you were told to do is read the article and make a comic strip on paper. That assignment is on hold. You can still do it, but it's not going to get turned in until we get back. What I want you to do instead is do this activity. You're going to write a letter to a patriot and a letter to a loyalist in a Google slide that I prepared for you. The letter to the patriot can say something like, Dear fellow patriots, you won't believe what happened. They came to take our weapons. They came to arrest our leaders, but we fought back at Lexington. Sadly, we lost. Then we retreated, blah, 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 blah. A letter to a loyalist might say, Dear fellow loyalists, you won't believe what happened. We marched to get those patriot weapons to arrest those patriot leaders, and we won in Lexington. It was wonderful, blah, 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 blah. That's what you're going to do. If you don't want to do that, another option is this. Go to storyboardthat.com and try to make a comic strip online. Then you can screenshot your comic strip and submit that for your grade instead of this. It's hard to do this, okay? If you're having trouble and it's confusing and it's just too frustrating for you, just do this. That might be easier, but I wanted to leave this as an option for those of you who feel creative and you feel like you can do the technology for it. Good luck with this. Everything's due in 2 days. And of course, contact me in Google Hangouts if you have any questions. I am here to help. Bye-bye.